So I'm in the midst of putting some parts together, especially the parts that will make up the frame that holds up the GN drives. And I wanted to take the moment to show you a technique that I kind of discovered. Maybe you guys are doing this. Like, for example, with this part, right now I'm sanding it down because there's a little notch there left over from the plastic. I'm using a 400 grit sanding stick, evening it out a bit. Then I'll use the 800 one to smooth it out a little bit more. As you can see there. Then using an old toothbrush, wiping off the excess dust. And ooh, there's my head here a moment ago. Oh, here it is. Using a little hobby knife, I want to dig in there to remove the excess grit that's in there. And then finally, using leftover putty, I'm going to use it to pick up whatever, minute particles are in there. This is actually a cool idea to use this if you don't feel like using the brush all the time. This can pick it up, the little putty, a little, flakes of plastic dust that's left over. Another cool thing is, if you want to make sure that what you sanded down is nice and flush, just apply a little pressure on it, pull it out, and you see it right there. There's a little bit of warping there, so hang on a second, I'm going to try it one more time. Go in, out, and it's nice and flush. Cool little trick that I discovered while I was cleaning these parts up. Yeah. Well, these parts are done. Let me continue moving on. So I have just finished putting a large majority of parts in the setup that you see here. Just want to give you a demonstration of what I just did right now. I'm going to take this one apart soon so I can begin painting it. I've got to remove that part here because I don't want it to be affected. The one thing I haven't done and put on a setup like this is the blue parts, which I just cleaned up, and I'm still It's still, I just want to give you a heads up on this. Some parts I had to put together because after reviewing it, I said, alright, you know what, they can be put together, and spray painted over it. Like, for an example here, parts of the armor around the bicep here. We got the GN drives, which the GN drives is actually held on by this, but since I can't put that in here, I used a little sticky tack in there to hold it into place. So this is nicely sanded and ready to go. The parts for the old riser, this wing part system, I was reviewing, I thought maybe I can actually squeeze them in together and I'll be done with it, but there's something that has to go inwards, so I still got to pop it out. So, but I'm holding it into place like you see there. Now, as I said before, these two are the pure whites. This one is the off-white, the red, and of course the yellow. So clearly I want to keep it in sections so I know which one I'm working with. And unfortunately I don't have another one of these little boxes things to hold it up, so I can use it for this. So I'm going to have to wait until I'm finished with this, because this is the first thing I'm going to work on. Then remove it, put it in the box, seal it up, and then put this in the tray, in the sticks and things like that, and then work on them. And I thought I had I thought I had gunmetal in what do you call it, in lacquer base, but I didn't. So I had to go to a hobby store, which I haven't been to a while. For those of you in New Jersey, there's a place on Route 46 called Tech Toys. I wish I can give you more of a address and stuff like that. So I went there because I knew he had some Tamiya paints, and I picked up a bottle. There it is, X10 Gun Metal. This is a lacquer based paint which I will use on this guy. So let me get my airbrush prepared and I'll demonstrate. Okay, I got my gun metal already thinned out and prepped. Let's begin with some painting. And we're going to begin with the leg. Now the leg, as you can see, I bent it all the way around. That way I can unbend it after I paint the inside. So this is what it looks like, of course. I haven't used lacquer-based paint in a long time, but it looks pretty good right now, as you can see. Now, I should open that up, but I'm going to give it a moment to dry. And while we're waiting for it to dry, we're going to do the next part. We'll do some smaller parts here. This is part of the frame of the inside of the fuselage. Ooh. And a second. Okay. That was a weird bubble there, but I don't know why. I'll review that in a moment. This part here, which is for the GN drives. All I have to do is paint the insides here, but I'll make sure I cover everything just to be safe. On the hands. I don't think we need to paint this, but I'll paint it anyway. This is the rear part of the GN drive. You really pretty much have to pick and choose your battles and what parts you want to paint compared to one that's going to be shown. Now this is part of the O-riser. I believe this part needs to be split, but I put it together just so the paint goes on. Once this dries, I'm going to apply a clear coat over it just to seal the paint. Alright, let's go back to the leg. And I'm going to carefully open it up all the way. Whoops. Now I'll do the rear part of it. it doesn't hurt for me to retouch it up a bit more. Now, I'm going to review it again later on, because clearly, even when the paint dries, there could be a possibility that the paint may get chipped off. So I'll do that again later on. I'll check it out. But as you can see here, nice. Let's do this one. Barely any moving parts. Oh, actually there is moving parts here. But there we go. I don't have to paint the entire body. All I have to do is paint the underside. And the back and the inside. I think if I do one last one to show it off. Ah, yes. This is the part of the GN Blade 3. And I just, oh, okay. I'm using very low PSI. I know that, you could probably use higher PSIs if you want to, but I thought this would probably be more appropriate. A little bit more control. You don't have to waste paint a lot. Alright, so let me continue on with the remaining parts of the inner frame, and then we'll go to the next part of the clip.